Hello, my name's Gigi, and for those who don't know me very well, I'll just give you a bit of background. I'm 60 years old, I'm married to Louis, I have 2 adult daughters and 3 grandchildren. I work as a yoga teacher, a counsellor and a health educator, and I have for many years considered myself to be a Christian. But I wanted to share with you today something that happened about 10 years ago that made me really realize that I had been fooling myself for a long time, thinking that I was a Christian, that I was a follower of Christ. I was interested in God and I read the Bible off and on through the years. I went to church often for years, and I thought everything was fine. And I started going to a church that reads the Bible called MBM, that stands for Multicultural Bible Ministry. And I started going to that church because it was recommended by someone else, and I was interested in getting to know more about God better, and I wasn't able to do it on my own that well. So I thought I was a Christian as I attended MBM, and I even went to some Bible study groups, and I thought I was a Christian even then, 20 years ago. And I was even telling people I was a Christian and that I'd left the Greek Orthodox Church, and I was quite vocal about my faith. But it wasn't until about 10 years ago that I realised I hadn't really surrendered to allowing God to be in charge of my life. And I think that's more defining thing about whether we are really following God earnestly. So about 10 years ago, my yoga studio was at risk of being closed down because apparently it didn't comply with some council standards, and there was a high risk that I was going to lose my employment and also my passion of the things that I like to do. And I sat in the car when I found that out, and I sat down and cried, and I don't normally cry, I'm very much a thinker, I'm not so emotional. And I remember saying out loud, if you don't want me to do this, God, with my life, tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it. And I was shocked that I actually said those things or even thought those things. And that, I think, was the time of my complete surrender to God's will. And gradually I understood more and more that how much Jesus loves me and how much he's got planned for me, and that Jesus is God. So all those years of searching and came to culmination like about 10 years ago on that day. I don't know if I was saved before that day or if that was the day of my final surrender, that the doors of heaven were open to me. We never know all these things, but I do know that since then, nearly every day I wake up and I say, so I wonder what you've got planned for us today, God. And I start my day with my plans, and whatever happens along the way, that happens. Yeah, I wanted to share that with you and let you know how much that's been quite peaceful for me, being able to have that assurance too now that I don't have to make every decision, and that God's will come to fruition for me and for the world. And so it's very comforting, and I want to continue living my life like that forever. It doesn't mean I don't have plans for my life, but if they work out, they work out, and if they don't, I'm sure God's better plans for me. Thank you. I hope that was useful.